What's up, Anchorites? And welcome to a brand new episode of Chaos Chronicles Pod. I am Jordyn, and this is my co-pilot Dusty.
Hi.
And we be getting into Andor season 2, episodes 7 through 9. We have a lot to talk about, so why don't we just get right into it?
Yes, it was a lot. There's a lot going on. Uh, it starts off with like a setup to the crazy. And
We're
this,
punching that hyperspace this time.
yes, we are jumping another year, and then we realize we are kind of the Rebel Alliance is kind of doing its big one, girls. It's grown in a year, quite a lot. We're on Yavin 4. We're doing our big one on Yavin 4. This is where the new base is for the Rebel Alliance, and it's growing. We are grown, girls.
Yavin was giving me Endor, and I had definitely said it multiple times through the episode.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
pretty
before they had told us it was Yavin, I was like, "Are we on Endor?"
The can confirm was there to hear this. It was stated. It really was, and I can see where you're going and like coming from with that.
It was very
I,
jungle-esque.
we love a good jungle, and I mean honestly, ain't no one going to find them in the jungle, and won't.
I mean, that's the best place to hide if you're hiding.
Yeah, it is, and definitely is. But we know the Empire's kind of focused elsewhere right now. Anyway, they're focused on building that Death Star, baby. You know. So they're not
No,
really they're not really looking for the rebels. They're like, baby,
not
we'll take you out.
not yet anyway.
Not
Not
yet,
yet.
not yet. But this episode 7 was an interesting episode because it kind of puts the trajectory for the rest of the series into motion. It's setting up that final like build up we need until all the chaos begins.
And I had said it multiple times too, is Andor season 2 kind of did start off slow. There was a lot
God,
of sub things going on,
so
but
many.
the last 6 episodes are going to be freaking wild.
And they absolutely were. There's no question about it. It was a ride, and you know what? I cannot wait to get into episode 8 and 9. I'll tell you that. Episode 7, I kind of actually, when I was writing the notes, I kind of thought that 7 and 8 were the same episode at times because it all kind of bled in
They kind of
together.
bled it. Yeah, they bled into each other.
Right, but we do see a couple. We see a lot of things that were interesting. Um, the first thing that I thought was interesting was Cassian's reaction to the force healer. Like, I don't know, does he have like a bad taste for force users? Because he was not having the idea of her like looking at his arm injury at
Like,
all. And I was kind of interested by this.
no
Like, why?
touchy.
Yeah, no touchy, but why? Like, what?
I I think there's an underlying fear within Force users maybe for him.
Possibly. Possibly.
Now, I do not know why, but like it also she was kind of looked like a crazy person. Like in his defense, I don't know if I would believe that while it was happening in front of me.
I mean, honestly, we both kind of questioned if it was legitimate or not when we watched it because it kind of wasn't giving legitimate at first.
It
But
was
then we
giving
find out
kooky.
it was given a little cuckoo. And then we find out that it actually was indeed real. And
And I think that scared him a little.
I do too. I do too. Because she kind of gave it, I don't exactly remember what exactly words she told him. But once she like kind of felt his arm, she got touched in a way and she kind of went on a tangent of what she felt and what like Cassian's like role I guess was here and how that he's meant to be XYZ. It was something along those lines. I don't exactly know what it was, but I think
She
that
was
spooked him too.
she was telling him stuff that had previously happened that she wouldn't know, which is kind of why he was like,
Yeah, his face was giving. It was absolutely giving. He was like, "Wait, what?" And Bix was intrigued too. She was actually super intrigued by it because her
she
and
was like, "Oh, tell me more."
exactly, very that. She was indeed asking for more. Again, she did have a good moment with the lady, and again, don't know exactly what the terminology was, but she basically said there's somewhere where you guys got to be, or she's got to be, or he's got to be, something like that.
Yeah, it was very predicting the future.
100%. 100. It kind of was predicting Rogue One, if we're being real.
It was so like the way she was like predicting and also a healer, it was very like giving psychic energy.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
But yeah, her being able to heal the shoulder a little bit, he was like,
Yeah, we did see the next morning that his shoulder was doing better, and when Bix asked if it was, he kind of didn't respond or answer her question.
he was kind of like,
He was like side
he
eye
didn't want
her.
to admit it. He didn't want to admit that it actually had done something.
Not at all. Not at all.
That male ego pride.
The male ego pride is real. It was an interesting beginning of the episode. That different than what we've seen this season, for sure.
For sure.
And then, let's see. We actually find out right after this whole sequence of scenes on Yavin that Dedra's now stationed on Ghorman. So, in the episodes prior, she was kind of listening in through Coruscant through Syril, but now she's there. Now she's the home dog.
The thousands of, it seems like, taps that the IBS has.
Mm-hmm.
They're everywhere.
They are, and it's getting spooky. It's definitely getting. It's absolutely getting spooky for the Ghorman people because it's looking grim. Things have changed on Ghorman since the last time we were there.
Majorly.
Major, because we didn't in the episodes previous. We see Ghorman as there was like protesting going on, like a lot of people in the like Plaza Times, like town square kind of situation. But
Right.
now on Ghorman, we see it blocked off. No one's there.
The Empire has kind of, you can really tell that in that year they've planted their energy into Ghorman, the multiples. Because I remember like there was security on Ghorman prior, but it wasn't like this.
No, not at all. They've definitely like gotten way stricter in episode 7 with their security, with their like overall rules on Ghorman. They've tightened up quite a lot. And
It's
you
become
can
very military.
very military, and you can tell with the lack of like civilians around like the square in that area. It's starting to get spooky for them. There's I think they are now like terrified.
I would be as well, just with the immense Empire
Headquarters that
energy.
has created. Yes, and it's not great.
And the other thing too, like, it seemed like media attention all of a sudden came back to Ghorman because we, while we're coming into Ghorman this episode, we've seen a lot of media cameras, TV reporters,
Yes,
and so makes you think that something happened within that year
which we actually
for
do find
media
out
to be a
something
little bit
did.
more interested. Yeah.
Yeah, we do find out that something did happen on Ghorman within the year. There was a bombing that happened. which we find out also that Will was a part of. In this episode, Andor announces a lot of things in a scene in this episode where Will was a part of the bombing of what was it? The Imperial something, naval something. What was it? Hold on. Trying to find it, people. Trying to find it. It's in the notes somewhere. I know it is. I just can't find it for some reason. Ooh, 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 ooh. Is that it? Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, okay. Bombing of the naval facility. There was a bombing of the naval facility on Ghorman that Will was a part of. But we also find out that through Andor, that the Empire is kind of manipulating and projecting the narrative they want for the galaxy to see, that what's happening on Ghorman and what the Ghorman people are doing. They're basically calling the Ghorman people terrorists, essentially.
Yeah. And everything that happens going on, it really was a planned situation.
It really was planned. Now, was it? I don't necessarily think that Luthen's people meant it to be the way that it's being portrayed as, but
Right.
that's what it is, and it's actually super scary for them, like the people of Ghorman. The Gorm is what they call themselves.
Come on,
It's,
Gorm.
as a viewer, we kind of know what's happening on Ghorman, what's about to happen in the near future for them, and it's saddening. It's sad.
Yeah, it was heavy. I was
This
starting to
a lot.
really enjoy this planet. I found it kind of niche, and it looked like it would be like a pretty awesome tourist destination.
Right.
Which
No,
it
100%.
was, but now it isn't.
Nope. I don't think anything is allowed to come in or leave Gorman at this point,
Yeah,
except
it's
for
it's
Empire.
they were very tight to the chest.
Tight, very tight, and it's. Ugh. I fear for my girls on Gorman. You know what I mean? I fear.
And the thing is too, like, what brought Dedra to Ghorman?
Exactly. That's already not good. We do see in this episode also that Dedra is also still working with Syril to keep an eye and intel on the Ghorman front alliance, which I don't know. I feel like Cyril's kind of vibing with the Ghormans, honestly, at this point.
Cyril, he came into Ghorman. I want to say he was. It's really hard to tell his actual feelings for Dedra, but as he started hanging out with the Gorns, I think he started to lose feelings for Dedra.
I do too. I don't think. Well, I think also he absolutely did. I also think Dedra kind of pushed him away because we see again.
100% the front.
100 100%. Syril, um he realizes how out of the loop he is with Dedra in this episode. He literally confronts her about it, and I
Ooh,
think
and I didn't see that side of him coming. Like, that side of him shocked me.
yeah, I never would have seen him as someone confrontational, because he's kind of like a lackey, a follower,
A mama's boy.
a mama's boy. Yeah, you never would have thought that like he would be this kind of person. But yeah, he confronted Dedra and was like, "What's really going on here? Because I know that something ain't right."
Trust that intuition, girly.
Trust it.
And before that confrontation, I think we brushed over it. Dedra and Syril met and she was like, pack your stuff. We're going to be home on Coruscant soon. And then we can be together.
Yeah. He didn't take that very well.
No.
No, he's like, why?
Why?
It's crazy. And I know that we're about to like, there's a bleed here in this episode and next episode, where he kind of like attacks Dedra, but that's in episode 8. I thought it was in episode 7. That actually happens in episode 8. It's one of those bleed moments.
This entire, like, the last 3-ish episodes. 9, she stood alone, but 7 and 8 definitely intertwined.
Yeah. 7 and 8 felt like one episode together. Like it felt like a continuation of the same, like the story continued in both, which I liked, but that's why I'm like, am I going to say something right now that's actually not in episode 7 but episode 8, because they do that. And it's just, I like it. These episodes are my favorite episodes. We're finally getting into something juicy and
something's about to happen, and you can feel it.
Yeah, absolutely can feel it. But let's see. What else to say in episode 7? Wow, we kind of talked about a lot of episode 7 already. Ooh.
Dedra learns about the eradication of the Ghorman. Andor announces what has been going on Ghorman, and confirming that the Empire is controlling the narrative and having the galaxy see what they want them to see about Ghorman.
Yep, and that's absolutely true. We know propaganda. We live in America. We live in, not America. We live in the world, I should say.
I mean, the world. The scary thing is, it's what I'm seeing going on in Ghorman. I feel like I'm seeing not on Ghorman.
Me too.
It was weird. It was weird how they're like blending in with Andor, and then like the real world is innocents bleeding.
Very scary. It's actually kind of terrifying. Honestly, if you know what we're talking about. But like Ghorman, what's happening in Ghorman is kind of what's happening in America right now. Let's be so for real. Let's be real. It's not cute, everybody. It's actually terrifying for someone that does live in America. This is not it. But we do.
It seems like we're going right into episode 8 here, because I think that was everything.
I think that's all the important things. We do see a little glimpse of Mon Mothma in episode 7, where she's like, again, feeling really alone. Even like everyone around her, she can't really trust anymore, as she is finding out. And now it's like person after person after person, and now it's her driver that's driving her nuts, asking her a million questions.
Oh my god, the driver. The way he was acting, I was like, please tell me you're seeing a change in his behavior.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
And through the episodes too, we see Mon Mothma realizing she can't trust a lot of people.
Yeah. Mon Mothma's story arc in this series is definitely my favorite out of all the characters, because you see this powerful, very influential woman feel very alone throughout the entirety of both season 1 and season 2.
She's feeling very isolated.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, I really felt for her. I was feeling for her when she knew she didn't want to, but she let her daughter get married.
Yeah, same. I was as well.
And then we have Yeah, she's just in an interesting position currently.
Very intriguing position.
And Mon Mothma never not looks perfection. She is her fashion. She's giving everything.
It's literally like her fashion, her pose, her grace, her everything is on point where she is stunning.
She's demure. She's mindful.
She's here for the truth. She's speaking the truth, and no one else seems to really be right now.
Even her husband knows that she has to do what she's got to do.
Which I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see that we haven't seen her husband or her daughter in a minute.
Yeah, we've seen him in this episode 9, but we hadn't seen him since the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, we did see him last week at that event where Luthen's all those power people in that one room.
The party.
Yeah.
We did see him in the party, I forgot.
But like I said, he doesn't we haven't really seen much of him.
Which is good. He made me mad in the early episodes.
I don't know. He's not giving.
He turned on his own wife.
Yeah.
Like turned on her, is friends with people that don't like her. It's just
and he's kind of allowing the smear campaign.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me I have the ick.
I also have the ick. I have the ick as well.
But we're going into episode 8 where
we are. This is probably the most
starting to look grim.
It is. It's looking grim. This episode is probably the most powerful episode to me.
I would agree.
There's a lot going on. Powerfully, I guess. That's not the right term, but it's very powerful and it's very sad and very politically incorrect. Very awful.
It was definitely giving I hate to say it, but at times it was giving Nazi war camp.
Nazi war camp, 100%. 100%. But they weren't really, I don't think they weren't really working, but they were definitely under the same restrictions.
Just with like the tight security. And with how tight it was, I was surprised that Andor could manage to get back onto Ghorman.
That is so interesting to me that actually they did go back. Not
because him and Will left and went.
Yes, him and Will went back to Ghorman. It's Spookalookie? So yes, Will and Cassian do go back to Ghorman. Will's kind of is on a Luthen kind of mission. Andor is going because he was kind of given a juicy task to kill Dedra, and he was accepting that big time, baby. He was really accepting that. So we do see them go back, and then like we see a very triggering for viewers. We see a triggering scene for viewers, y'all. It's just us now. So we see a something that isn't good. If you are a viewer, as you're watching this, you see the barricades that were once around the plaza now are being moved in front of the Empire headquarters, which definitely means some shit's going to go down, if I'm being so honest. And then we proceed to see the people, the Ghorman, they are coming in chanting. They are coming down to the plaza after the barricades are moved, and they are chanting, "We are the Ghor the galaxy is watching." Over and over and over, you see this and you hear this. This is something that we've seen, all of us have seen in history, and it's just a group of people that have been oppressed that are kind of rising up, and we know something isn't going to be good coming out of this, because we know that a big group of people like this, and they're all together, strong armed, this is not going to end well for them. So,
No.
nope, not at all. It's once that chanting starts and the people of Ghorman are starting to go down to the plaza, take back what is theirs in a big group. There's a lot of them, all chanting that we are the Ghor, the galaxy is watching. Us as viewers know what's about to happen. We already know what's happening because Dedra had told Syril. Well, I don't even think she did actually. We know Dedra knows that they are going to massacre the Ghor people, but I don't think she actually told Syril that.
I don't think she did either. I think he got like she gave him like a little bit of information, but
Right.
I don't think gave the full picture.
Absolutely not. Definitely not. Which we would have known and had seen, because I do think Syril has sympathy for the Ghorman people at this point because he spent so much time there and with them.
Yeah.
That I feel like if he would have known, there would have been a reaction of some kind.
A different outlook, maybe?
Yes. We do see him at this point actually choke Dedra, trying to get her to tell him the truth, which she doesn't, like we stated, but he says, because he kind of knows what's happening, he's the one that said that the Empire isn't here to stop a rebellion, they're here to start it themselves.
Correct.
So he's pissed at this point and dumps her.
There was like self-realization in all of that where he was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I've been a puppet to you this whole time, basically.
Like an errand boy, which he kind of was.
Oh, absolutely.
So that doesn't change.
No,
They were really good.
Doesn't.
In this episode, you had kind of seemed like they were trying to give him a hero arc, which I think in a sense he kind of got his big one with that. But during this entire thing, it was just getting messy all around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I personally wouldn't even really say that he got a heroic story arc. I do feel like I like him more now. Like, I
He
feel
was
for
less
him more.
annoying.
Mm-hmm.
He
He's
was a
less
little
annoying.
less annoying.
After he breaks up with Dedra and like kind of like chokes her out a little bit, which was messy. He goes out. He's in the crowd, baby.
I didn't
Now,
expect him to. I didn't expect him to even attempt to choke her.
no, he
But
assaulted her, which was crazy.
I didn't think that was in his wheelhouse.
He's
So
psycho.
he done snapped his little twig.
He did. He acted like a psycho in that moment, like legitimately. But it's because of his sympathy for these people that he knows is all going to die, and he has feelings for them. I think he likes that one girl. I forget her name. I can't think of it right now.
Was it the guy's daughter?
Yes, yes. I don't remember her name. Hold on. I think I wrote it in a note somewhere.
Because
Enza. No. Yeah, Enza? Yes, Enza. That's her name.
yeah, I think so. You're right. That
Yeah, I
sounds.
think he has feelings for
And
her.
then Will has feelings for that other
Oh, yes.
girl.
Will has feelings for Drina.
Come on, Drina.
Come
I
on,
ship them.
Drina. Come on, I ship them too, Loki. That's why I think that's ultimately why Will's even back on Ghorman.
Yeah, he was there for her.
Yeah, 100%.
And then Andor was there to attempt to murder Dedra
Yes, which we do
at,
know fails.
at Will's request.
Which ultimately is a good thing for them it to happen is for her to be offed.
Andor had the shot so many times.
I agree. I fully agree.
I was like, pull the trigger
It bothered me because I totally see the same thing you saw there. I definitely think he had it.
multiple times.
It was just what are we doing, Disney? If you're not going to kill her, at least don't give him the opportunity. But everything chaos was kind of happening at this point because
Yeah, because in a way, Syril kind of prevented, assisted in the him not getting the shot.
yes, he did because yes, once the the bloodbath, I'm calling it, started breaking out. Well, before that, we see stormtroopers kind of approach the stairwells to the plaza, blocking them all, and people started freaking out at this point. But we
I
see,
want
go ahead.
I I really like this throwaway line from the guy at the hotel when he was like, "You'll have to carry your bags this time."
Ooh,
So he was he knew when Andor arrived to check into that hotel, the employee that was a bellboy a few episodes ago did the checking in, and then he was like, "This time you'll have to carry your own bags."
right. Yeah, and we do know that he's also part of the
So he was
Gorman front.
recognized. Yeah.
It's crazy. He was actually kind of an icon this episode.
Yeah, he really was.
He really
I
was
really
actually kind of the savior.
I kinda hope he survived.
Honestly, you know what? And this is a spoiler for the next episode, but we know that Drina survives and Will survives. But we don't see the bellboy slash I forget his name, but
I don't
I hope
remember
he
her
did.
name.
I hope he does because we know a
That's
couple
an
characters don't.
interesting looking hotel.
It was. It was. But that's where the fight kind of happens with uh Cassian and Syril.
Syril.
Yeah. Cyril kind of sees Cassian in the crowd once people start getting shot at, which by the way, we didn't mention this and I want to. The Empire actually killed one of their own men to start this fight.
Yeah, that's how calculated it was.
They shot their own man to kill that man to make it seem like the Gorman
The
people attacked
Gormans,
them.
yeah. It was very calculating.
It's scary. This is scary calculation. Scary.
It was yeah, that was I completely forgot about that. I think
hmm
because it happened so fast that I was like,
Yeah, everything at this point on, well, that point on was so fast. It was like bam, 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 bam. I'm actually realizing now that we're talking about it that in my notes I actually don't say a couple things that probably we shouldn't mention. But we will get to that. I do want to mention that we do casually lose our icon queen that Syril liked, that Enza girl. She dies in the bloodbath.
R.I.P.
She dies in the bloodbath, getting thrown by a KX security droid.
Oh my god, that droid is intense.
He was throwing these people like they were sacks.
It,
Or
yeah,
the robots, there's 6 of them, but they were throwing them around like bam, bam, thank you, man.
but it seemed like one of them was more. I remember like throwback to the building inside before the droids came out, and Syril was still in the headquarters. The one droid was kind of like looking sideways at Syril the entire time.
Yeah.
I was like, that's gotta be that's giving the main droid.
That's
Like,
giving our good friend, our good Judy.
Right. The one that they
the K2SO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I think we both kind of mentioned it when we were watching it. They were like, that's the one. That one right there, baby.
That one up to something.
And they were all up to something. It was crazy.
How tall are they? Because like that droid is huge.
Honestly, they have to be like
8.
8 feet ish tall. No cap.
Well, that's the droid that they were promoting in Lego form at Celebration.
Yeah, they had that life-size one.
Right, which I'm thinking the life-size one has to be the same height that they used for the one in the show. So I think we know how tall they are, but I can't off the top of my head think of how tall. But they big.
It's tall.
Because when it was throwing people around, they were flying.
Literally, there was no once you got picked up by one of them and tossed, there was no surviving. You were literally going
it was like a rag doll.
Yeah, 100%. And we see them kind of throw a lot of people around. But before we forget about this big ordeal, I want to talk about the fight with Cassian and Syril.
I really enjoyed that fight.
Me too.
The choreography.
It was good. It was so good. And it's crazy because Cassian doesn't actually know who Syril is at all, or that he exists.
But like it seemed like Syril knew who he was.
Yeah, Syril does know who he is because he's been watching Cassian, been trying to find him to kill him for a long time, like years at this point. So yeah, he does know who he is, but Cassian literally says, "Who are you?" when Syril has the gun to Cassian. Yeah. But Syril hesitates, so Cassian gets saved by the girl's father, who we think Syril likes. Caro is his name. Caro kills Syril in like no hesitation moment.
Point blank.
Bam, baby. Goodbye.
No coming back from. That's the one thing about Andor. People seem to like somehow survive lightsaber battles, but there's so much gun action in Andor. It's wild to be like point blank right in the freaking head. There's no coming back from it.
No. We still see good old Syril.
And Andor would have been fucked if her dad didn't
step in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. If Caro didn't step in there, he would Cassian would have been dead. Dead, big dead. But we know that's not the case because we know Cassian's ultimate death, which is coming. Everyone, we are going to do Rogue One. By the way, spoilers. We're going to be filming Rogue One
right after
Andor's season 2 ends. We will give it 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. We only have 1 week left to Andor, by the way. Let's just mention that now.
I gotta say, like, it's going by so fast.
I wonder why 3 episodes a week. I still think this is too many.
They could have got away with doing 2 a week.
I agree. Fully
And the
agree.
pacing would have felt all right.
100%.
3 a week, we have said it again time and time. It's happening really fast. And it's the episode length. Maybe if they weren't an hour every episode, it wouldn't feel so intense. But we're consistent with their length, which is a shock for Disney.
Very shocking.
And it just feels like a lot. I think they could have got away with 2 a week.
I agree.
It's still 2 hours.
Right. Every episode has been up close to that hour mark. And yeah, we could have easily gotten 2 a week. But I think in retrospect, I think that the 3 really is the only thing that made sense, because it was like every 3 episode there was that time jump. So I don't know how they would have done it with 2.
That's
so
fair.
in that sense, I get it, but for a viewer sense, I get overwhelmed a little bit when there's like 3 hours worth of content to watch. No, granted, we're filming content about the content, so people probably don't watch it all in one sitting like we're trying to do.
Right.
But it's a lot. It seems like a lot to me, but that could just be me.
No, it feels like it to me as well. I'm having moments where I'm like, honestly, last night I could have I did all 3 episodes back to back. You went to bed. And I was like, I could have won another episode. I want to know more.
I could have stayed up and watched the 3rd episode with you. And we should have done that. I should have done that because it was really good. We're about to get there. I don't have much else to, like, in the notes that is, to say about 8, but yeah, I could have done it too. And I would have felt the same way because episode 9 is absolutely crazy.
There's a lot of moving. I have kind of said it the whole season. There's been a lot of moving parts and lots of different hands in the cookie jars or whatever. And episode 9, oh my God, there was so much going on.
So much going on. It was a lot. I won't say it's too much. Actually, I'm actually happy. I did mention this to you. I'm happy that all those story arcs that were kind of all over the place in the first 6 episodes are now
starting to wrap.
They're starting to come together, which is making me happy because I can finally follow it and understand what's happening.
Right.
But yes, let's get into episode 9. There is one. We already mentioned this, but Cassian does escape the Ghorman massacre. Will stays behind to find his girlfriend Drina, but Cassian, before he leaves, gets this like decapitated KX security droid, wraps it up and says, "Baby, you're coming with me," basically, and takes it and escapes this massacre that's happening on the planet.
I still don't know how tight the security and shit was on that planet. I don't know how he got out. I don't know how he got in. I don't know how he got out.
I don't either. I still question this also. And how did Will and Drina get out? How did these people get out? because they did.
Yeah, well, I guess Dedra is high ranking, so that wasn't going to be an issue for her.
No, Drina, not Dedra. Drina and Will.
Yeah, how did they get out?
Yeah, that. How did they get out? That's Will's hurt and like very not good in episode 9. We'll get to that, but I don't know. We'll see. And the last thing I want to mention is I love Euro's mother, and we see her sobbing and crying and in tears at the very end of the episode because of her loss of her son, because she knows he has passed at this point on the attack that happened on Ghorman, and she's watching the
She has
edited
all her
version.
friends around.
She's watching the propaganda version of what's happening.
Fucking propaganda. That's the theme of the season, propaganda.
And war propaganda is the big theme here. But I thought that was sad. That's the only thing I really want to say. We see her breaking down because of the loss of her son.
I did appreciate her friends.
Me too.
Kind of like being there.
I agree. That's good for her. That means she has legitimate friends, because is she
because it didn't feel like she had any friends.
Exactly. And also,
the way she was.
Right. But is she someone that's like kind of in a power position also? Not like a senator's power position, but she gives someone that's well off financially.
Like
So
ranking.
she has to, yeah.
She's kind of giving Real Housewives of Coruscant.
I love that, yes. I love
Honestly,
that.
Real Housewives of Coruscant should be a spinoff.
I'm dead. Disney, you heard it here. Who else would say the Real Housewives of Coruscant but us, for real?
I mean, Mon Mothma could be a Real Housewife of Coruscant.
Oh my god, wait. Wait. Fanfics. I need fanfics. I need fanfics, everybody. Please. Who do you think would also be one? Please comment down below. Who is another housewife of Coruscant? Please let us know.
I'm trying to even think who is on Coruscant.
There's a lot of candidates, but I couldn't give you one option right now. Dedra, sometimes.
Do you think Dedra is going to go to his mom?
Ooh, I don't know. I didn't even think about this until now. Honestly, I'm not sure.
Because for a little bit there, it was giving Syril's mom seemed like she really liked Dedra.
Yeah.
So I think in a fucked up way, Dedra loved Syril.
Yeah, I agree. Their love was weird, but I agree.
The relationship was always kind of weird. But makes me wonder if has Dedra even had a conversation with her?
I don't think so to this point, no. I'm interested to also see if we see that connection in episodes 10 through 12.
Just because I felt like in a weird interplanetary way that they liked each other.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally do. So I hope we see it, honestly. That is a very good point. Let's see if we will find out, but that's also a very solid point.
How's Mama, like, is she done? Was this it? Are we going to see her in any other episodes?
That's a fair question too.
Because I really, like, for me, the mom was kind of iconic.
100%. Was this her last scene? Was it? That's a very good question. She was giving a very top tier acting for this scene, so maybe it was her final scene. We don't know. You have a solid questions that I hope we get answers to. I mean, we will if she shows up again, but I do hope Dedra goes to her if we do see her again.
I want to say I doubt it, but
I doubt it as well because there's going to be a lot going on that's going to be like boom, boom, bam. But good. What
here
do
we
you guys
are.
think? What do you guys think? Because this was a solid point. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. Do you think we will see Edie again, or do you think Dedra will go talk to Edie and about everything that happened with Ghorman and her son? Let us know. It's a very interesting question.
Because Dedra was trying so hard to keep him in that building.
Right. No tea.
So
We will find out.
welcome to the iconic Mon Mothma episode.
I love this episode. Episode 9 is so good.
There was a lot of moving parts as well, but
there was a lot of moving parts. Mm-hmm.
But we open up on a very rainy Coruscant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fitting to what happened previously. I think this was definitely directed to do this because it fits the sadness that we are all dealing with from episode 8, and it's
We're
juicy.
mourning Ghorman.
Yeah, and we are. And then we the beginning of this episode, yes, it starts off rainy. We see the Ghorman Senator Dazi Oren. He gets dragged off by stormtroopers, and he's like yelling to the crowd that's there that he was taken without a warrant.
They started it all, and now they're taking charge of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they are. They're trying to eliminate any individual that can speak positively about Ghorman. So clearly they were going to snatch him up. Like, nope. He literally tells the crowd, Mothma's there and Bail Organa's in the crowd. He is screaming out, remember Ghorman, they're taking me without warrant, blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of like, what the heck is happening? Which we see Mon Mothma and Bail Organa kind of discussing together, like the horrible events that are taking place.
It's kind of sad. It was also kind of
sad
to just see him get dragged off. Like, haven't you put this man through enough?
No, they haven't, because they give no fucks. They're like, we don't want you saying anything about Ghorman during the upcoming conversations that are being had.
Bail Organa and Mon Mothma are discussing the horrible Ghorman tragedy.
And
they know something's got to be done.
They definitely know something needs to be done. Mon Mothma even says, she's like, we need to stand up, speak the truth. We both have to do it. And Bail Organa's like, Mamacita Bobita, you're going to be doing that.
You do it. I'll come to you at a later date.
Yes. Mm-hmm. In which is fair, because we need someone there at all. We need someone there to continue.
You need like a positive. You got to at least have one person in, especially dealing with these people.
Yes.
So he's all like, no, baby, you're going to do it, and you have the strength to do it.
Yes.
Do you think that he had her do it because she was already in a position of losing her influence.
I really don't know what his motive was to having her speak. Um, I do
It is
think
it it's giving he knows she's already her influence in the Senate is already losing, you know, losing
right,
her influence. And he was like, baby, at least it's not going to do any damage if it's you and not me.
right. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I didn't think about it that way, but I can see it. And Mon Mothma was already very adamant on speaking anyway.
She was going to do it with or without him. And
Right, exactly.
he was giving the I don't how it's weird.
It is weird, but he does also state that Yavin needs her. It
Right.
needs their leadership, so maybe that's a motive he had, and he could stick around a little longer because, again, like you said, they need a positive person there. So Mon Mothma was either going or she was going to get arrested. So it's like maybe he's like, you got to go anyway. It's either you leave or you get arrested. What you want? What you want?
Right.
Because people are after her, which we see in this episode. There are people coming for her.
Th-
There's so many people
They
listening in.
they are paranoid.
She knows what she's talking about. She knows what she's talking
Right.
about.
And she's such a strong force of a person that I could see Mon Mothma being more eloquent, where she can hold the attention, whereas maybe he felt like he couldn't.
That's true too. That's true. And let me say, Mama held the attention when I was listening to her speech. It was kind of great.
I was like, yes, bitch. I'm
I
on
also,
board.
I was also like, yes, yes, get it, girl. But people are after Mon Mothma this episode. Bail. Mm, was it Bail?
She's practicing her speech, and what's his name? The
Erskine,
adorable little
her little
okay,
friend, senator friend.
who named him?
Honestly, please, who did? Please, someone tell us, because
He's over
Erskine.
Erskine be checking the room for bugs.
Oh, and he found one. He found one, honey. He finds a listening. What is it? A listening
And
device.
and he sets when he found it and they destroy it, ISB losing their connection to her, they start to panic. Because at this point, nobody knows, is she going to speak? Is she not going to speak?
And yeah, no one knows. And ISP kind of escalates the arresting of her at this point. They're like, let's do it, baby. Time to get her. Go find her.
Let's get her.
Let's get it, girl.
And we start to
But
see the plan to get her out of there.
fall into place.
Right.
Yes, we do. Because Erskine tells her to go practice her speech out in the plaza. There's a lot going on out there, so
Because he wants to make sure that he found every single listening device.
right.
And the other thing to mention is she realizes he's been protecting her in a sense under the direction of Lucian.
Luthen, yeah, Luthen.
Luthen.
Yes, which she meets in the plaza, and he tells her this. He states all of that. He says that Erskine's working for him, and that um she's going to be escorted to Yavin. She just needs to give her speech, and then immediately he's kind of telling her that we're going to do this, and then you're going to leave. You're going to get escorted out. There's going to be people there to get you. You're good. Just follow them. Everything will be okay. And she's not having it at all. None of it.
None of
None
it.
of it. Not any of it.
I kind of see her outlook in that sense because she trusted Erkson, and she's like, who else am I trusting that? I feel like she was kind of insulted in the sense that she thought he was one of her, like, how do I say it? She didn't realize that he was with Luthien. I don't know.
She didn't know he was with Luthen.
She feels kind of betrayed.
She does. She confronts Erskine about it, and
she's
she
like,
asked him, "What's
out.
up, bro?" Yeah, she asked him, "What's up?" And he said he's been working for Luthen for 2 years, and she kicks him out, says goodbye. She's disapproving of everything. She's asking herself, who can she trust? Can she trust anyone? Luthen said he has friends all over. She's like, who else? Who else?
They really used that line this episode of that.
Weirdly.
I have friends everywhere.
I don't like it.
It's kind of it was kind
weird.
It's kind of giving Big Brother in a sense, though.
Mm-hmm.
Someone is always watching.
Mm-hmm. 100%. And the placement of the phrase, we'll get to it when we get to that part, but it was weird to me. But now we see freaking Mon Mothma's driver's shady ass spilling all the tea to her to ISP. All of it.
And this goes back to who the fuck can she trust?
At me. She can trust me. I got your back, girl. I got your back.
I got you, girl.
I do.
I found it kind of bold that they sent Andor in.
Yeah, it was crazy to me that they sent him in. He was just kind of wandering the quarters.
Like what?
It was weird, but when he was wandering the quarters, we hear conversations in the back. There's a lot of senators that agree with the Empire about what's happening on Ghorman. So the upcoming speeches and conversations are happening about the subject. A lot of people are supporting the Empire like that. They're like, you hear a lot of them from all over discussing
Well, the
it.
Empire is feeding them the bullshit that Ghorman started it.
Yep. We love war propaganda. Again, a theme of this whole theme.
But yeah, it was wild to me that they sent Andor in.
It was, and no one even knew who he was, which I'm surprised.
Right? You would think there'd be like wanted posters, especially on Coruscant.
Right. At this point, yeah.
That was really bold of Luthien to send Cassian in because wouldn't you want to keep Cassian safe because he's the key to it all?
I think that Cassian was the only real option to get Mon out. So I think it was the only choice, to be honest. Because we see a couple senators speaking about Ghorman, and one of them, his name's Carlu, I think. He is saying that the issue and problems on Ghorman was emergency years ago. We didn't do anything, and this is what happened, basically. And then Mon takes her stance and takes the floor, and then she's going on, and her speech was so fire and so good. I was supporting her the whole time.
Yeah, I was on board.
I was on board too. Mega on board.
And in her speech, she does mention Emperor Palpatine. They sure have been throwing that name around.
Yeah, we finally get Palpatine dropped. But it was right
Again.
at the end of her speech. With they cut ISB did eventually cut her speech, so we don't know where it cut off. But she did say that Palpatine's kind of the problem, and then people are like going crazy in the crowd.
She really sent the crowd into a tizzy.
100%.
But it also made me wonder, like, was her speech done, or did she actually realize I gotta get the fuck out?
Honestly, I think it's a mixture because once the crowd, we verbally hear them kind of booing that her and like kind of like traitor, I heard in the crowd.
Right.
She's on the move quickly.
And she had to be.
She had to be, yeah. Things are not going to end well for her if she doesn't leave. She does meet Cassian. She doesn't know who he is. And he's like,
I have friends everywhere.
I have friends everywhere. You have to come with me. I will get you to safety. Blah, 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 blah. And Mon Mothma was like, okay. She kind of isn't, she's not having it.
She was kind of like, do I have a choice? Not really. I gotta go with the stranger.
Yeah, she was like, I gotta go with the stranger. So she kind of does follow him. She thinks he's a journalist.
That's the thing. Like, he doesn't look like a journalist.
Not at all. Not even remotely.
He's got this like cutlet.
It's he's looking rough. Looking big rough.
But it's time to get out. So that's
It is
what we're
time to
doing.
get
We're
out.
getting out.
That is time to get out. So we Cassian and Mon Mothma are like actually getting to the journalists now, and we see Erskine jump into action, kind of like trying to help them all get out. Like, let's go, let's get a move on, let her through. And this little crazy lady that we saw earlier kind of take out that other guy that was a part of the crew, whatever, her arrest crew. We see her name's Beska. Beska pulls out a gun out on everybody, like, you're coming with me.
It was very like Mon Mothma's the hostage.
She's like, what the fuck? Cassian and Erskine both have their weapons on her, and it's crazy.
Erskine is the one who fired the shot, though, right?
No, Cassian did. No, she pulled her weapon to Erskine, and then Cassian killed her, and he's like, we gotta go.
That was wild.
Yeah, Erskine's like, I'll be there. Just go.
And Mon and Cassian, they didn't take the original route that was planned.
Nope. We see our good little trooper friends. They're coming, girl. They're coming. And yeah, we take an alternate route.
And Mr. Luthiana and crew are like freaking out because they're like, where are they?
Yeah, Clea and Luthen were freaking out. They were fighting a little bit. They were kind of fighting because Clea wasn't having what was happening. Luthen's like, girl.
I get the impression that Clea is the one who's actually running the show.
Period. She kind of low key is, not gonna lie. She really kind of is.
Like, there's times where she's kind of like putting Luthen in his place.
Yeah, I think that she does put Luthen in his place, and it shows. And he kind of doesn't combat her much. So yeah, she does seem like she's kind of running the show, and Luthen's just the face of it all, which is interesting to me.
Well, because she's always making the fake IDs. She's always listening.
Always.
I get more she's in charge vibes. I know that's probably not how they want us to think, but she
To do
seems to
be.
keep him in she keeps him in check.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But so we do see our Cassian and Mon Mothma friends. They do take an alternative route, which they meet Mon Mothma's driver out on the like stairwells, the outside of the building, and Cassian just kind of kills him and says, "Let's go, girl." Mon Mothma
Honestly,
shooketh by all of this.
I gotta be honest, I was surprised that they didn't leave Coruscant.
Well, they do,
But not right away, because they go to the
not
air
right away.
because we go to the Cassian's old joint house.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they don't go right away because Clea tells Cassian that he's not actually the one that's going to take Mon Mothma to Yavin because they got to prep her for a speech that she has to do.
Another
And
speech.
he actually leaves with Will and Drina. They go back to Yavin. We finally realize that they survived, but Will needs medical attention stat now.
And that's why I think they pause. They go quick. I guess that's probably why they leave all together, whereas they have Mothma's going to do something. We don't know what.
Yeah, she's now going to be supervised by the Golden Squadron. I don't know who that is, but that's who's bringing her to Yavin. Don't know who that is, but we do get to Yavin. Our Cassian, Will, and Drina do it, that is. And the Mon
And,
does do a speech.
but we also have, when they get back with the ship to Yavin, Cassian is like, oh, by the way, I have
Loose.
a fun friend for you.
Mm-hmm.
Broken apart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you?
And yeah, he reunites with Bix, which was cute.
This was a hard moment for me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, Cassian tells Bix that he's kind of done. She doesn't really say anything, but yeah, the ending of episode 9 was heartbreaking. With her kind
I
of Cassian waking up and she's gone.
That was sad.
Honestly, I
And
started to get emotional.
I did too. In fact, I'm starting to tear up a little just thinking about the message.
The message was amazing. Acting wise, she killed it for this.
Mashed it
I
out of the
and
park.
Another question I just thought of is she not going to be back for the last 3 episodes either? Was this her final episode as well?
A lot of goodbyes in episode 9.
A lot of goodbyes in general. We don't know. The sad thing is they never reconnect ever again after this goodbye message. So that's the part that hurts me the most.
Sadness.
It is very sad. But that definitely brings us to the end of the episode 9, which is very sad. Now I'm kind of emotional. But what are our thoughts on what's to come? 3 more episodes left.
I doubt we're going to get it, but I really would like Palpatine. They keep name dropping him, so I'm kind of.
Right. I'm curious to see if Palpatine shows up in the last episodes.
And we're going into Hmm. Our final time jump.
Our final time jump. Yep. The time jump that then after that would go into right into Rogue One.
So in that case, I'm also kind of like, where are we when we come back from episode 9?
Right. Is it another year jump?
And the episode kind of ended abruptly with turning on that KX droid.
Oh yes, I forgot to. Yeah, I didn't mention that. Yes, we finally get the K2 droid, and yeah, we finally get his like kind of bestie through the rest of this, and I'm excited to see what's to come of that. Like, what are we gonna see in the next 3 episodes with them together? Because we only saw them in Rogue One together, so it's interesting.
I was kind of dead that the droid was like, can we maybe not point the gun at me?
Right. The droid's going to be great. I think the droid's going to bring some comedy.
Yeah, as someone who hasn't seen Rogue One yet, I know it's on the docket for soon. I'm curious how to see how this last 3 episodes play into Rogue One.
Me too.
I'm kind of curious how your outlook going into next week after when we wrap Andor, knowing what has happened in Andor, how does that change your outlook going into Rogue One?
Yeah, I'm excited for both of our um thoughts after Rogue One because this will be my I've seen it before. This will be my second time watching it. This will be your first time watching it. Now that we watched Andor, I want to know how both of us think. It's going
Yeah,
to
like
be
where's it
interesting.
going?
Yeah, like what are after knowing the backstory of Andor, now going into Rogue One, what are our thoughts? And we're going to get 2 different mindsets. We're going to get someone that hasn't seen it before and someone that has. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be really interesting, guys. So stay tuned for that. And I don't have anything else to say. I don't think. I think are we?
I don't either. I'm kind of excited to see Andor end,
Me too.
but I'm
Me
also
as
kind of
well.
sad because
Yes.
I do feel like it could have went an extra week.
I think we. Yeah. I think we could have split it up somewhere. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm curious as to see what they're gonna do.
Me
What's
as well.
what's life like for Mon Mothma post the events in Coruscant?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yes.
that intrigues the fuck out of me. And then the same, like, what I'm kind of curious what is going on in Dedra's head
Mm-hmm.
post the events of Ghorman,
Right.
because in her own way she did love him, and though I don't agree with how she handled it, I wonder how does this affect her going
Mm-hmm.
forward?
All good questions. I have the same one. I'm really curious to see what Dedra's role becomes, how Mon Mothma is kind of uh taking on this now like rebel senator leader role. How does it all play out?
Well, because like for me, that was there was a line Andor had said to Mon Mothma that we forgot to mention that I really liked. He was like, "Welcome to the rebels.
Oh yes, yes, rebellion. Welcome to the rebellion.
Welcome to the rebellion."
Yes, and she's like, "What?" But it's and we know how we've seen Mon Mothma. she becomes a big part of the rebellion. So I want to see how she is going to tackle the beginning of this.
Yeah, and you see Mon Mothma too, like you've seen her in Ahsoka. Like she Mon Mothma seems like she's everywhere. We've seen her in Clone Wars. We've seen her, and the actress that plays her
Icon.
is fantastic.
Icon.
So
Literal icon.
at this stage in the game, she's becoming the face of the rebellion.
And is.
And will be.
And will be.
So I'm curious where she's going. I'm curious how the rebels, like all of that. So 3 episodes away, and I have questions that I hope get answered. I'm actually really excited.
Me too. Me too.
I had hearkened this Andor season 2 similar to 1, where the first half is kind of mid, but then we're starting to spice up with the last few episodes on the horizon. So
yes, I'm very excited to see what comes of the 3 episodes, but we will find out next week. So at that, I think we can wrap it up, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Chaos Chronicles. We appreciate you sticking with us through this longer episode to discuss episodes 7, 8, and 9 of Andor Season 2. What are your thoughts of these episodes, and what do you think will happen in the final 3 episodes of this series right before we get into Rogue One? Thank you so much again, and if you do not know, my name is Dusty. This is my co-pilot Jordyn, and we will see you next time on the next episode of Chaos Chronicles. Thank you guys so much. And don't forget, if you like what you see, like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye.